I be rolling with the squad, we be going so hard like whoa. You know what it is, and we always get it in, whoa.
Today we're doing yet another recording. Yeah, so you guys must be saying like, whoa, how is he uploading so many videos like this quick, like that? Well, the reason for that is because I'm on break this week, my school at least. And yeah. So this week I'm off and stuff. So yeah, also I do have to say I'm loving this program Audacity. I mean, it's like I'm not promoting Audacity, like probably like I'm not even big enough to get a promotion from a company, but I do have to say I love the software. But this isn't what this video is about. It's really more about not really what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about was like in gaming at least, the botched releases and why they're such a big issue. Now, like botched releases in games, the reason why they're such a big issue is because people, when they pay $60 for a game, they expect to spend their money on a game that'll be worth their money, that'll have them investing hours of time in, and a lot of stuff to do in the game, be fun, and like all kinds of stuff to do, and replay value. That's why people spend so much money on games and game equipment, and spend so much time on games. It's because they just like games could be like a stress reliever. So yeah, that's why yeah, I mean, now what do I mean by botched releases, you may ask? Well, a botched release is when a game is like incomplete or missing, like when a game is incomplete. For example, missing proper modes, missing missing characters or weapons, missing hell, even whole parts of a game. So yeah, and usually, and the part that kind of messes me up is when these when botched releases are like, what's it called? When botched releases are like just sold as DLC. That's like kind of messed up. I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, so you're charging them a full $60 for you're charging a full $60 for a game that's not even finished yet. I mean, what kind of messed up stuff is that? I mean, when you pay for something, you expect to get a full deal, the full thing. It's like if I walked over to a car dealership, even though I'm not old enough to buy a car. It's like if I walked over to a car dealership and said, hey, can you give me that car? And they charged me full price for a car, and they only gave me like half the car, or the car wasn't working, or it was like the engine was like messed up and the brakes were busted and all that stuff. I mean, you don't see that if you're selling a 4K TV at full price and it ends up being only 1080p, people get pissed off. I mean, geez. I mean, you don't see this in any other industry where people just accept not getting the full deal. I mean, geez. I mean, and us as gamers are tired of this, we as gamers are tired of all this BS that we have to put up with. The microtransactions, which thankfully that trend seems to be dying out. But but botched releases don't seem to be dying out, which kind of scares me, to be honest. Because what's next? Are you gonna have to pay, is half the game not gonna work just because the developers want to make more money? It's like, jeez. What's next, honestly? But I digress. It's just so bad, man. I mean, the gaming industry, shout out to Review Tech USA. Review Tech USA said it best. Gaming is going through puberty. It's weird and it's awkward. Extremely weird and awkward. I mean, seriously, what's with all these, freaking, botched games? I mean, yeah, I think, and people don't know why all this is starting up recently. People have no idea why it's happening. Well, I'll tell you exactly why this is happening. I think you guys are pretty familiar with the what's it called? With the developer called Activision, the same developers that made Call of Duty, you know them. But the thing is, they made this game. Yeah, Call of Duty sucks, and unfortunately, it kind of ruined FPSs. Not ruined them, but kind of what's it called? The same guys who made Call of Duty, but yeah, they ruined FPSs. But that's a whole nother. Joseph Speaks for a whole nother video. But yeah, they named this other FPS called Destiny, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already familiar with. And not a lot of people like Destiny because of some of the BS that was in the game. Now, what horrible trends did Destiny start? Well, probably the most notorious of them is being a botched game. And Realeses game, Destiny, and this is, I actually used to like Destiny. I have the game, but I used to like it, but now I don't really like it. But, well, I haven't played that much of the game. I just saw a bunch of gameplay. But I digress. Destiny, what happened with Destiny, how it was supposed to be a bigger game, is a whole nother thing for a whole nother video. But, yeah, I digress. Destiny started this whole new trend where you didn't exactly have to, give out, the people who started DLC were Rockstar Studios back in 2002 with GTA San. I don't even know, GTA something, with DLC and stuff, and it was a good idea. DLC by definition isn't a bad thing, and usually DLC could be used as if a developer was in a time crunch and they had to release a game by a certain date, and they had to put something but they didn't have enough time to put something in, they could sell it with DLC, which is good in my opinion. Or if they couldn't put in the game originally, but now they could, that's how DLC could be used for good. But how it's being, last generation and the 7th generation, it wasn't used that good. It was used for, separate, campaigns and stuff. But hey, at least, the games were complete. This 8th generation, literally, things that should already be in the game are not in the game, which is ridiculous. We shouldn't have to buy more than what we bargained with. The game, it is sold at $60 and it's only worth $30, which is not good at all. But then you expect us to buy more of it? Seriously? But yeah, Destiny started this whole thing where Destiny was supposed to be a much, 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 much bigger game. But then everything got messed up. Everything just went downhill. A bunch of complicated stuff happened. It was a snowball effect. And then the game ended up being bare bones at release. And they just started selling other parts of the game like it was no big deal. And people just ate that crap up, man. And Activision made a pretty penny out of Destiny. Look, I'm just worried that people just fall for this stuff. And with me, that's, not good. So, yeah. So this is pretty much another episode of Joseph's Talks.